What were you doing on Labor Day? Well, Jimmy Hoffa Jr. went to a rally with President Obama and called conservatives sons of bitches. Huh, that's tonight on The Source. U.S. President Barack Obama has hit the lowest popularity of his bleak presidency, and it's in times of stress that you take the real measure of a man, don't you? His endless speeches just don't seem to be working. In fact, they sort of prove the point that the man really can't do much other than read off a teleprompter. I mean, empty Hallmark greeting card phrases like, "We are the ones we've been waiting for," just don't really cut it when America has 9.1% unemployment and record debt levels. He's just announced another $300 billion in spending, all of it on borrowed money. Yeah, if the last few $1 trillion didn't work, why would this suddenly work? Again, it's like his speeches. Maybe he thinks we didn't hear him the last 400 times. He's clueless, but his tone has certainly changed. Remember back during the campaign when he claimed that he would end the bitter partisanship in politics, when he promised a new tone of national reconciliation? Here's one of his hopey-changey promises. Look at this.
It's the answer spoken by young and old, rich and poor, Democrat and Republican, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, gay, straight, disabled and not disabled, Americans who send a message to the world that we have never been just a collection of individuals or a collection of red states and blue states. We are and always will be the United States of America.
Not red, that's Republican, and blue Democrat, just Americans. It's pretty touching, isn't it? I remember a year ago when a Democratic congresswoman in Arizona was shot by some psychiatric nutbar named Jared Loughner. The Democrats and their chorus in the media party blamed talk radio and Rush Limbaugh and the Tea Party for that shooting, even though Loughner was apolitical. He was a nut. Here's Obama tut-tutting his political critics, obliquely blaming right-wingers for creating the atmosphere that led to that shooting. Look at this.
But at a time when our discourse has become so sharply polarized, at a time when we are far too eager to lay the blame for all that ails the world at the feet of those who happen to think differently than we do, it's important for us to pause for a moment and make sure that we're talking with each other in a way that heals, not in a way that wounds.
Not in a way that wounds, eh? So when Obama was running for office, he promised to be nonpartisan, and he misses no opportunity to criticize the stridency of his opponents, even to falsely blame them for a shooting by a non-political crazy man. But Obama is losing. I mean, the economy's failing, his foreign policy's failing, his presidency is failing, and so the only thing he knows how to do is to repeat the same things over and over again, but louder and meaner, actually, because in his mind the problem isn't with him, it's with us. We're just too stupid to get it. So he'll just be louder and use smaller words to tell us that he's right. I mean, on August 1st, Vice President Joe Biden told a meeting of Senate Democrats that Republicans, especially those in the so-called Tea Party anti-tax movement, have, quote, acted like terrorists. That's pretty tough talk for Biden, who doesn't even like to call real terrorists terrorists. And then last week, get this from Biden.
You are the only folks keeping the barbarians from the gate.
The barbarians. Aha! So, no, look, that's just Joe Biden. I mean, he's an idiot. But on Labor Day, Obama himself was at a really big rally in Michigan, one of the states hardest hit by the recession. Now, before Obama himself spoke, Jimmy Hoffa Jr. spoke. He's the boss of the Teamsters Union, just like his late dad was, you know, the convicted criminal Jimmy Hoffa. So it's the president's big Labor Day rally, his big message about jobs, an important speech given how few jobs there are in America, especially Michigan. So there's obviously a lot of anger and frustration out there now. But instead of focusing those feelings on the problems, the rally focused those feelings on the enemy, the Republican Tea Party, you know, the peaceful anti-tax protesters who happen to disagree. Here's Jimmy Hoffa Jr. at the president's rally.
We got to keep an eye on the battle that we face, a war on workers. And you see it everywhere. It is the Tea Party. And you know, there's only one way to beat and win that war. The one thing about working people is we like a good fight. And you know what? They got a war with us, and there's only going to be one winner.
There's only going to be one winner in that war, and it's going to be Jimmy Hoffa Jr. and the president's party. Who talks about, you know, their opponents as enemies and fighting wars? Let's go to the next one. Here's another thing that Hoffa said.
If we go back and we keep the eye on the prize, let's take these son of a bitches out and give America back.
Son of a bitches. You know, grammatically it's sons of bitches, but I don't want to fight with Jimmy Hoffa about grammar or anything really, because he doesn't believe in opponents. The Republicans aren't opponents, they are the enemy. Not just, if I could scroll ahead a little bit, not just even the enemy, they're sons of bitches. They're mothers or dogs. They aren't morally equal to real people like Obama and union members. And it's not just about name calling. It's about war. What kind of war? Shooting war? Guns? No, probably not. But what about Obama's call for civility in the wake of the shooting of that Arizona congresswoman? I mean, Obama took to the stage after Hoffa did, but he didn't say a word in contradiction of Hoffa. He didn't disown that angry rhetoric. And yesterday at the White House, a reporter grilled the president's press secretary about this, and the White House refused to disown the comments as well. Now, of course they refused, because they absolutely support Jimmy Hoffa Jr. We've seen this Obama complicity before. I mean, remember Obama's 20-year pastor, Reverend Jeremiah Wright? This was the radical church in Chicago that Obama and his family attended for years. Here's a sample of Wright's sermons week after week.
No, 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 not God bless America, God damn America.
God damn America. Obama sat through that kind of bile for 20 years without saying a word against it. Does Obama believe that? Who knows? But he certainly had no problem having that man provide spiritual guidance to him and his family for years. Does Obama think that Republicans really are sons of bitches? Of course he does. He won't say it himself, but he won't mind one bit when his friends and allies say it at the same rally. In fact, sometimes he does say it himself. Here's proof.
I need you to go out and talk to your friends and talk to your neighbors. I want you to talk to them whether they're independent or whether they are Republican. I want you to argue with them and get in their face.
Get in their face, those sons of bitches. Go to war. Get in their face. And here's a political story of Obama encouraging the violent rhetoric. But it's good news. If the best that Obama and his left-wing friends can do is call names and make threats, that's a sign that they're morally and politically bankrupt. They have no clue how to fix the economy. They have no clue how to persuade people of their big government ideas. All they have left are threats and insult. You son of a bitch, I'll get in your face. Obama is probably going to lose the 2012 election. He should at least go down gracefully, not in the Jimmy Hoffa style of slurs and threats.